Hello and welcome to this first case study in this introductory section in this course AI for risk management and compliance excellence using AI for that. So in this lecture, we basically are trying to take you through a case, and this is a highly relevant and forward-looking area using AI not just for a enterprise level risk monitoring, but for developing personal excellence in risk awareness, anticipation, and compliance decision making at an individual level. Let us take a look at this realistic and challenging individual level case that shows how AI can help a professional, build superior judgment, ethical foresight, and compliance precision, which are the essential trait in today's digital organization. So let us take a look at that. So this is a case study of a compliance officer who built personal excellence in risk management using AI. And the whole subject was about developing personal risk intelligence and ethical decision mastery through AI in the context of financial services in terms of personal accountability and compliance role. And the individual focus was on this senior compliance officer in a multinational bank. So that is the case study about. So let's take a look at this case study. So the challenge. So all these cases start with some challenge, right? And that's what makes them interesting. So the name mask, face mask, the person, the senior compliance officer is Priya Nair at a global bank. And she is responsible, or she was responsible for approving high value transactions at the bank and ensuring adherence to anti money laundering operations and know your customer KYC regulations, right? Now, in discharging her responsibility, she faced few challenges. Now, what were the challenges? First was the cognitive overload. Thousands of data points happen every day per transaction. And the manual review means missing subtle anomalies, right? Then there is bias blindness. Her past experience often guided judgment, but sometimes she overlooked emerging risk indicators that did not fit the old pattern. The third was the decision fatigue in terms of the cognitive overload. Repeated decisions led to lower vigilance over time, the human compliance paradox, right? And despite excellent technical skills, she realized that human intuition alone couldn't keep pace with the dynamic risk landscape. And especially the kind of risks keep emerging with the technology as it advances. So, what was the turning point? So, the turning point was partnering with an AI risk advisor. Her bank deployed an AI-based risk intelligence system built on IBM Watson and a customer ethical decision support engine. And then, instead of using it merely as a surveillance tool, Priya decided to use it as a personal learning assistant to improve her own capabilities to detect, analyze, and just judge risk with precision. Right? So that's how the things happen. Then, what was the AI driven learning process that she used? Now, AI analyzed every transaction Priya reviewed and flagged the patterns and provided rational transparency, the reason for taking those decisions, explaining why it viewed a case as high risk or low risk. She began tracking her decision versus AI and the variance, how often her judgment aligned with or diverged with the systems, and why. And then she set up risk reflection loop with AI every Friday. So that was the learning journey. Now let's take a look at some specific steps within that. So the first step was pattern mining. Now what AI did there is it highlighted the transaction she flagged differently from AI. And what she learned is it revealed the unconscious bias that she had, and she was overweighing customer seniority, for example. Then the second step was explainability. AI explained 3 to 5 top reasons for its alert, say for example, dual station risk, hidden relationship mapping, etc. And there that made Priya learn improved causal reasoning in complex compliance contexts, right? The third step was scenario simulation. AI simulated alternative outcomes. For example, what if approval was granted? So it simulated that situation. It helped Priya develop foresight thinking, probability based judgment. And the last step was reflection prompts, where AI asked, what signals did you miss this week? And that encouraged Priya, encouraged the metacognitive growth and self-audit discipline. Now, another aspect of the turning point insight was that she started using AI as a risk mirror. After 6 weeks, Priya discovered something profound. AI did not replace my judgment, it revealed how I judge. By analyzing her own decision patterns through AI's lens, she learned that she was a risk averse person under ambiguity, rejecting borderline cases too quickly, and she tended to trust familiar clients too much, a familiarity bias. And her compliance style was reactive, not anticipatory. The AI, effectively helped her quantify her cognitive blind spots in terms of how many unrecognized biases she was working through. So what was the solution? Now, solution was AI augmented risk mastery framework. She worked with AI to create a four-stage personal risk mastery model combining human intuition, AI analytics, and reflective learning. Now, what does this model look like? Framework look like? So, first stage is of awareness, in which the focus is to identify decision patterns and biases, and AI does the analytics and bias dashboard, and the personal growth happens through risk self-awareness of the risk triggers. Second stage is the analysis after awareness, where the focus is on understanding the reason and uncertainty with the particular decision. Now, AI role there is AI uses explainability engine to provide the rationale, and you as a person has improved diagnostic reasoning now. The third is to start developing anticipation, where focus is on simulating risk scenario. AI does predictive modeling, and you develop foresight and proactive judgment. And the last stage is alignment, in which the focus is to align actions with compliance ethics, where AI's role is AI ethical decision support, and you as a person, professional, risk professional, start looking at value-based consistency and trustworthiness. You start developing value-based consistency and trustworthiness. So that's the AI augmented risk mastery framework. Now, what were the results of using such a framework after 3 months? Our manager noticed that she was not just faster but wiser. She began mentoring peers on ethical decisions analysis using AI as a learning tool. Let's take a look at some of the results in detail. On a metric of false positive decisions before this program, AI program, that was 19%. That dropped after AI to 7%, a significant drop in false positive decision, which basically means the decision she thinks was positive did not turn out to be positive. Then missed real red flag transactions was 8%, that dropped to 1%. And the self-assessed decision confidence on a scale of 10 from 6 went to 9. And her audit compliance rating, which was earlier good, went to outstanding. So outstanding results, isn't it? In 3 months' time. So let's take a look at how AI as a cognitive compliance coach was used in this case. And how can you use this? AI became her thinking partner in three distinct ways in this whole process. The first was, using explainable AI. AI's function was explaining this rationale it was suggesting, and Priya was, building deeper understanding of how risk is constructed, just not the rules, but the reasoning. The AI's function, the second distinct way of partnering was in terms of feedback looping, in which AI did that, and she developed a habit of reflecting on the judgment patterns every week and learning. The third way was simulated scenario where AI did that, and the Priya trained mental foresight, imagining consequences and the ethical trade-off. So in these three ways, AI became her thinking partner. And AI here didn't take over compliance because that was Priya's job, right? It only amplified ethical intelligence and risk mindfulness. So, what are the key insights for building individual excellence, risk, and compliance? See, first is that AI reveals ethical and cognitive biases. And it does that by helping individuals confront overconfidence, familiarity biases, or selective perception, which is all humans are uh, born to deal with. Then AI enables anticipatory decision making. There, it does through by scenario simulation to build forward looking risk awareness. Then, third the insight is that AI cultivates reflective intelligence. There, individuals learn why they make certain judgments, not just what they actually decided. And the last insight that we have for you is AI encourages moral reasoning. When AI asks, why is this ethical? It triggers deeper alignment between the rules and the values. So these are four key insights for building individual excellence in risk and compliance. So what is Priya's reflection? Priya felt I am no longer she no longer sees compliance as a checklist, which she used to do earlier. It is a reflection of my reasoning integrity. And she says she sees AI becoming my teacher in a disciplined thinking. And through consistent AI feedback and reflection, Priya evolved from a enforcer to a risk intelligence leader, an individual with excellence in cognitive rigor, ethical foresight, and self-regulated decision making. So this is what Priya's reflection were after 3 months. So what is the framework? It is a simple framework of AI risk excellence loop. Start with observing the situation, observing the data, the decisions that you make with the help of AI. Then you analyze that data for your own self. Then you start anticipating based on the learnings that you have. Then you start aligning and then reflect and improve. And this makes AI a continuous learning companion, turning every decision into data for self improvement. So that is the risk excellence loop using AI framework. So let's summarize what we have done. So on the dimension of focus, the traditional compliance officer will follow rules and procedures where AI augmented risk leader will use judgment and foresight using AI. On the dimension of feedback, the traditional compliance will depend on external audit. AI augmented risk leader will do continuous, feedback using AI analytics. In terms of skills gained, traditional compliance officer will get technical compliant, will become more technically compliant, whereas AI augmented risk leader will become a master in cognitive risk taking. And the result is efficiency in case of traditional compliance officer and ethical excellence in AI augmented risk leader. So, can you also do some application of these learning as you go forward in this course? You can turn this into a learning exercise. Learning exercise of using AI as my risk coach for building cognitive compliance excellence. And the step for learner like us are present a three sample compliance scenario, gray zone cases, right? Not very black, not very white. Ask you and me to make your own judgment and make your own judgment. Provide AI generated analysis, which is simulated. And then you as a learner need to reflect on where did my logic differ? What bias influenced me? And what would I do differently next time? This mirrors actually Priya's journey using AI for personal growth in judgment integrity and risk excellence. So that's a possible application for you in this course. So what is next? So in the next, we will take a look at the overview of using AI for risk management and compliance excellence, and take a look at how can you use AI for risk management and compliance. Thank you so much for watching this introductory case study. I hope you are beginning to learn new things, beginning to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.